forgiveness.
On ratio. Boy, I was teaching, I was smoking. I got back home and looked over my notes. I taught the whole lesson wrong. The entire lesson was wrong. When I got back to school the next day, I said, kids, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. One of the boys said, Miss Pearson, we knew it was wrong, but you were on the road. We just let you go. You know, but you were just so excited about it. We knew you were wrong. We didn't want to hurt your feelings. After all, you're the teacher, and I kept apologizing. They said, you're the teacher, you don't have to apologize. And I said, but I do. And I want you to know that whoever you are, whatever age you might be, when you're wrong, you should say, I apologize. I'm sorry, and I want to tell you I'm sorry, and I let it start all over. They said, we're sorry, Miss Pearson, we don't want to do that lesson again. But we had to do it.
Asking forgiveness, how hard is it? I mean, we've all had to do it, but it's not something that comes real naturally and real easy, especially if it's a teacher asking forgiveness of a student. It makes a deposit.
Walking back and forth by my desk one day. It was hot, and it was hot music. He was walking back and forth. He had a red sweater. It was almost May. And I said, Frank, sit down and take off that hot red sweater. So he kind of moved to his seat. He took off his little red sweater. At car rider duty that afternoon, I saw Frank's mom, and she said, did you see Frank's new sweater? She said his grandmother sent it to him from Corpus Christi, and he wanted to wear it to school so you could see it. I felt so bad. So the next day I said, Frank, did you wear that red sweater again today? I wanted to see it. I wanted to buy my little boy a red sweater look just like you. He said, did you like it? I said it was the best looking red sweater I'd ever seen. And I told you to take it off yesterday when it was hot. And I am so sorry because you might have been cold and I should have let you keep it on. I am so sorry. He said, that's okay, Miss Pearson. I'll wear it for the rest of the week so you can get a good look at it. But what if I had let it go? See, those kinds of things kids remember. I have talked to students who've been in the 12th grade and said, I had a 3rd grade teacher to tell me I'd never be anything. Out of all the teachers who said good things, they remembered the one negative. And so the relationship building, what can we do to be kind? Open to feedback is another one. How much comfort do people?
And that'll be the next one. But noticing details. Do you notice when a child is no longer themselves, something has changed? When a colleague is acting differently, do you pay attention to it and use it to kind of build a relationship? How do you do it? It seems like you've been kind of quiet lately. Is everything okay? Is there anything I can do to help? How simple is that? This next one, the first part gets cut off, but she's wearing high heels.
Goes to school one day, not real high, but high enough. Because I walked the building, I had a large campus, and so 1,200 kids, pre-K through 4th grade, that was a big campus. So I was walking the campus, and Joshua McBride stopped me in the hallway and said, Miss Pearson, where are you going in those high heels? I said, I'm going to the principal's meeting. He said, I said, is there something wrong? Don't you like my shoes? He said, the shoes are fine, but you need to go take them off. I said, no, Joshua, these are my shoes. I wear them all the time. There's nothing wrong with my shoes. He said, Miss Pearson, let me explain something to you. Miss Jackson and Miss Gregg are little. They can wear high heels. Those were the assistant principals. They can wear high heels. But you're too big. You're going to fall down. Go to the class. Now to show you how pitiful I was, I went inside my office and took off those shoes. He saw me a little later in the day. He said, now that's better. Do you know how comfortable he had to feel with me to tell me to take off my shoes? Because he said he was keeping me safe. All the time I'm telling kids, don't run. Don't play on the playground. If you're going to play kickball today, you can't play in open-toed shoes. You'll kick your toe, and then you'll bleed. I'm talking all the time about being safe. He was just keeping me safe. And when he said, that's better, he said, now you can put those high heels on when you go sit in your car. But if you walk, you have to put your flat shoes on, because if you fall, you're in trouble. but open to feedback. How comfortable are people with you in your relationship? Can they talk to you? And there's a big difference between open to feedback and disrespect. See, disrespect is not something we invite. But can students talk to you? Do they feel comfortable and confident enough in your reaction to what they say so that they'll feel free to share with you? Kids who are failing otherwise will come to my class and say, I'll do it for you. I'll pass for you, because they have a relationship with me. James Homer says no significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. We work harder for bosses that we like. We work harder for teachers that we like. And while on the surface that seems so shallow, explanation is often not necessary when you're talking about relationships. So, as you go about your daily work, whether you're at school or whether you have another job, always consider the relationship factor. It can make your job easy, or it can make it the most difficult thing you've ever done.
How open are you to feedback? If a colleague comes to you and says, I noticed that this is what was going on in your classroom, you might want to consider doing such and such. I think it might help. How do you respond? Do you shut the door? Do you build a wall and think they don't know what they're talking about? I've been teaching for this many years, and that person only has a couple years experience. What do they know? Or do you say, well, tell me more about this. How does this work? What might it look like? Are you open to new ideas? What if a student comes up and says, why are we doing this? Middle school kids, why? But are you open to making sure that maybe some of their responses or their inquiries are legitimate and you don't have to always do it a particular way? Are you open to feedback from others? And again, you walk that line. You don't want it to be disrespectful, but you want kids especially to feel comfortable enough to be able to give you feedback that you value. The end of the year, I always used to have, I taught 6th grade for a lot of years, have my 6th graders write letters to next year's 6th graders telling them what they needed to know to be successful in my class. And the kids were great because the audience was another group of kids. I learned more about my teaching and how I worked with kids reading those letters than I ever did, from a principal coming in and evaluating me. At the end of the year as a principal, I did a very simple evaluation form. You could use this very easily as a teacher too. I said, tell me what I need to keep doing, tell me what I need to stop doing, tell me what I need to start doing. And I got great feedback. Keep, start, stop. Think of yourself as a teacher, asking your kids, what should I keep doing for next year? What should I stop doing? What should I start doing? Kids can give you honest, open feedback, as can colleagues and team members. When I started teaching, maybe those who are in that generation remember there was something called TESSA, Teacher Expectations and Student Achievement. And I apologize, this isn't in the handouts, it's something I added in later. I'm going to get it back in there. They said there are 15 behaviors that teachers use with good students. And if we were aware of this and used it with all students, it would make a huge difference in our student achievement. If you call on everyone in the room equitably. I always used to use the popsicle sticks with every kid's name in the jar, so you could pull it out. Because I was setting the expectation that everybody was going to be called on, not just the kids that are raising their